Alright, it's Taco Tech Tip Tuesday. We have a 2004 WRX with a lot of really good parts and a lot of really well installed good parts except for one thing. And this is something I see quite a bit. So what we had is on a lot of various spots on the inlet, we have zip ties clamping stuff together. Well, zip ties are pretty good, except you can't get them tight enough on these silicone type lines to actually seal the opening. And on a mass airflow metered car, those are air leaks. We go clear down here, I don't know if you can see it on the video very well, all that smoke is coming from the zip ties that are clamping those lines for this nice Crawford air oil separator down onto the PCV outlet. Now why does that matter? Well, it matters because every single thing that this car does for fueling and timing is based off of the signal it gets from this little guy here. It's the mass airflow meter. If any air enters or leaves the system that's not been metered by this, then it's not going to calculate the fueling correctly. That's why people say you can't run a blow-off valve. That's why you can't have atmospheric breathers. Now, if everything was separate from this system, so if your entire breather system was separated from the air intake system, you can kind of get away with it. But this one's not. This recirculates back into the intake, meaning if there's a leak there, that means air is entering and exiting the system that's not being metered. That's going to cause problems. So now, while we should be on the dyno tuning this car, instead, we're going to be fixing air leaks. And these are the kind of air leaks that are just kind of a pain in the butt to fix, because getting clamps on those without pulling the intercooler and whatnot is just a lot of work. So, since this week's tip was super short, I want to talk about something I've talked about a few times before, and that's rattles. So this is a 2013 WRX that I'm tuning, and right when I would tip into the throttle, so 1800 RPMs, I'd get a big knock feedback. That's a huge correction, 4.2 degrees. So I was looking around at the timing all looked good, the air fuel looked good, everything looked good, and I found a nice little rattle, and I'll show you that rattle here in 1 second. Anyway, I fixed the rattle, and now you can see when I tip in down here to wide open throttle, I no longer have a knock correction. And that was a physical rattle, not anything to do with the tune that fixed that problem. So this was what was rattling on the back side of the intercooler. This actually normally is welded to the intercooler and then it's held to the car on the bracket right here with the bolt. But it had broken off and it was just bolted, and so the intercooler was just basically every time you tip in, the intercooler would make little metal noises, which the knock sensor was picking up and causing it to pull a bunch of timing. So this is what we want to see. Low leakage. It's bouncing up and down. That's pretty normal. No visible leaks on this car. Also very good parts on this car. Cob intake, Process West top mount. So that is a full pass. That's my tech tip for today. Seal everything. Make sure it's sealed, especially if you have a mass airflow meter. And if you're a mechanic and you don't have one of these, it's a smoke machine. This is a pretty fancy one. They make much less fancy ones, but essentially it just pressurizes the system with just a little bit of pressure. It's not even a pound of pressure. And that's going to tell us how big of a leak there are. This one has metered, so it has actual metered sizes. So it's going to tell you the size of your leak. We're looking for somewhere around 020. This is way up above 040 right now. It's maxed out on the gauge. So, and we're only putting just a little bit of pressure in there, so not a lot. Anyway, that's my tech tip for today. Fix your leaks, and your car will run better. I promise. Thanks for watching.